There's no guy in the sky going, "Oh, my children," but we subconsciously were trained that it's outside of you. So that's why we say incubus and succubus, which is a European myth. They're easy to say. Europeans, they made up that bullshit about Halloween because it's really about the ancestors. But then, oh shit, incubus and succubus is coming. They made up that bullshit about Halloween and incubus and succubus. Read the goddamn script. It's from them. We wasn't talking about that. You can have something draining your ass, and doing all of that can happen. But remember, there's malevolent energies out there too. And that's why the African spiritual system, they had something to protect them from being human. That's why they made them dress and separate and not do this and rites of passage. And it's so orchestrated because the more you go crazy in human thought, the more you pull down, or the more you actually create thought forms that give you this bullshit. All of this bullshit that's happening to us is because of us. Remember, never forget, the elders taught us that Egypt was in decline when they started writing. So if they were in decline back then, what the fuck do you think was happening later? Even all that shit we look up to in cultures had to be in decline up until you have what we have now today. It's good we're at the grand rising, and Rich and I witnessed on this planet, probably many others, but on this planet, the birth of that shit really. You understand what I'm saying? And that led to a big grand rising. I would never thought we would have 2,000 people in the chat room. There's niggas who would lecture to 15 people and be like, today was a good day.
It was a great lecture, right.
Great lecture. 15 people sitting there. So, you know, not everybody gets it. I got to be honest, but they're at the starting gate. And remember, the starting gate is just to be called conscious. There's no conscious community. Conscious is just a description that brings you here. Knowledge of self is what you are. And to have knowledge of self, its by its very nature is to up your character. Because to have knowledge of self, you're talking about the pristine you. So if you don't see anyone's character improving that chooses to stand in front of you and should be standing in front of you with honor, if you don't see their character improving, how could they be doing the correct work?
Indeed.
If you see their humanity improving, that's telltale. And you should run away or stay around to be entertained, but don't expect to learn.
Indeed. I want to take about 2 or 3 questions from the people before we get out of here, because I see y'all been asking stuff the whole night, but it wasn't that time. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to ask the brother on live a couple of questions. We're gonna take about 2 or 3 questions before we get out of here. And before we do that, Panic, what's your Cash App, my brother? What's your Cash App? So they can support.
Brother Pan. $, BROTHERPAN. Brother Pan.
All right.
Cash App, $, me boys and girls. Keep the lights on in here.
Yeah, hit up my brother Panic. Make sure you show support. You know what I'm saying? This brother brings some amazing occult information, and I'm very grateful for this interview. Let's see if we got any.
Let me say I'm grateful to be here too, Rich. I always look. You're the only one. It's the confidence, man. It's the confidence. I love to just be around the confidence, and I'm glad for that. I am glad to be here, bro.
So somebody panicked. Somebody said, "How to hold the light from the seed." Wrong.
From the sexual thing.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front my nigga. I kind of, it's no one method, and I have a lot. I always give methods. I didn't do anything. I first started reading the Montauk Chia. Oh, I did do something from cyclomancy. I forgot. Okay. There's a technique in cyclomancy, almost like Montauk Chia. Like all this shit is in 2008, 2007. I gotta remember. Montauk Chia tells you to sit on the edge of a chair and with your PC, your PC muscles, you know, the shit that you stop your urine to pull up. And what you're really doing is starting to get the muscles to get sperm to go back this way. But in cyclomancy, you don't have your nuts off the edge. They tell you to do this shit, nigga, and this shit work. All I did was this. You visualize energy in your testicles, which it is. Your life force is there, right? And it has the connection, as Brother Phil said last Wednesday. Your spinal fluid is not connected to your blood; it's connected to your mind and your nuts. It's a straight pathway. So you visualize energy going to your medulla oblongata. You breathe it up. You're storing energy, and when you open up your eyes, because remember, your eyes are connected to the back of your head, you can shoot out energy. So you got to make your intention here, right? So this is what's in cyclomancy so far. I used to get on the train. I'm gonna answer this question. I used to get on the train, just open the eyes slow. You literally would shoot your shit out. It would literally burn. That's also called the evil eye. I said, "Oh, this is the evil eye." You can literally feel you can't hold your shit if you do it right, but you're shooting your vision over to her. And it was crazy. I was just watching American Psycho. Everyone watched it for the 3rd season because they did the Marie Laveau thing, and Angela Bassett played it. That was that show. So I'm on the 3rd season watching it for real this time. And she's training a witch, another white witch training another white witch. She said, what you got to do is imagine and visualize him happier in the middle of the street and watch him do it. Now, they did the dramatic thing. She did it. He walked in the middle of the street. But the technique is sound. Remember, again, there's a movie called The Master. The same dude directed Boogie Nights. But the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, is in it. People find it from that. It was on cable at one point, so you might be able to still get it free. Now, so with that being said, it shows you a lot of techniques in this book. I used to be on the train after work, rich getting off. So I would visualize the woman across from me, nipples getting hard. Let me tell you, the first thing he says in this book is you need a buzzword or a trigger word that makes you happy. He said he fucked with Clark Gable, you know, old ass nigga. He fucked with Clark Gable. Clark Gable was on that dark side shit. And he said Sammy too. He said Clark's was steak. He said when you think of something like steak, you start flooding with alkaline, and alkaline's more electric and psychic. So that's the first thing you do. You think of your thing, your word. You know what mine was? Titties. Boom. And the first thing I started practicing was seeing if I could get an image of what kind of nipples women had. Now, why so nasty? Because for guys, probably women too, they just don't admit it because they were trained not to. But if there's no consequences, they go to the club and sit on all the dicks they could for a cup of Hennessy. If no one said you're pregnant, VD, you're nasty, you're a whore. If that didn't exist, cause we damn sure would doggy style every woman sitting at the bar while we drink our 1 cup of Hennessy. So why deny them that? You know what I'm saying? So all right, now so titties was mine, and I first started trying to see if I could pick up the kind of nipple, big areolas, the ones with all the bumps on the areolas, the one with hair. The titties was, you know, flopping, looking like eyes in the nose near the near the navel. You know, titties are a smorgasbord of colors, sizes, shapes. It's like Willy Wonka of titties. Willy Wonka. So now even if you're totally off point, even if you said, see, nigga, oh, damn, I had this all wrong, but I'm still going to suck it. You know what I'm saying? Your effort is the key. There's another thing he'll say, look at a spot on the wall, close your eye, turn around, do a spin, close your eyes, and try to walk to the wall, see if you can touch the spot. Then do it from further away. See how far you get. It's not about touching the spot. It's about doing this shit. So it's exercises. What you're doing, you got to understand that psychic powers, your those centers are sleeping in you. So they don't just wake up because you read a book. You have to exercise again. Just like if you got out of a coma, they've atrophied. You have to work your legs. You know what I'm saying? Your muscle mass is down. So this shit has to be worked. These are techniques in working it. So then I would started the shooting of the image, and I would shoot the image where I wanted their nipples to grow, or I wanted them to fall asleep on the train, or I wanted them to fall asleep and open their legs so I could see what color their panties were. Why the sex? Yet again, for a guy, it's everything you think of all day. You won't lose focus. Now, there's plenty of things I've done that went just beyond sex, but when you're trying to get into some astral traveling, I was going to see all the chicks I could call and muster. So that the Hasidic Jews, which their communities in New York, as you know, they get on the train, nothing but itch attacks. I knew how, for some reason, I knew how to make them itch. I would shoot, I would close the eyes, see them itching, and just open it slowly. Like you scry, you don't look straight at them. Like even doing that, I'm looking at this picture, like I could feel the energy leaving. It's pushing me back. It's incredible. But you gotta just PC muscle, but you're shooting it up with a breath. It's like you're pulling it up from your nuts. You're not pulling the thing. The more I did that, the more I think that tapped into that sexual energy. That was bringing the light up. Not really having physically my nuts off the bed and me doing the PC exercise. I was just shooting and visualizing the energy coming up. And that, I think, started the process. I can't bet on that, nigga. You test the water right, son. Because you might be like, Panic got me fucked up right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's big dog shit. But so far, so good. I'll tell you that much. I lost your sound, Rich. Your mic is muted.
Yeah, my fault. Even when you in the street, Panic, and I might have mentioned this to you before, when you're a lot of times when you're thinking about somebody, or say somebody's thinking about me or staring at me, I automatically turn around and spot them right away. So I catch them staring at me. So it's like before something in me realized that they were staring at me. Like they did it, man. Like they was hitting me with some type of like beam or some shit.
Right. And literally feel the eyes on a two-way street.
Yeah.
You always think the eyes are receiving, but then you heard there's something called the evil eye that you can give off. But I'm sure there's books that you could, but I knew I found it. But yes, that's exactly it. You could pick up on the energy through the eyes. You know what I'm saying? So now he's showing you just yet another way to energize the eyes to send a message through. This book is fucking bad, yo. I'm telling you, it's fucking bad. He shows your ass, and if you could get anything by Frank Rudolph Young, that's the author. There's some of his work floating around. It's all old shit. It's all about psychic powers, visualization, and how to strengthen yourself. You will become a one-man army out of this shit. And then if you also add the astral traveling, forget about it. That's the receiving end. Once you keep fucking with that, it's exercise. Don't give up. Don't think it's about success. I was at Rich's house. Keep trying. People give up. They don't have faith in themselves. And then there's this little voice calling Rich that says, God is outside of you.
Mm.
It ain't in you, son.
Mm-hmm.
And that voice is in you because you grew up in the church and that's all they told you. You didn't go through any rigorous training to unwind that shit. All you went was with new information and said, oh, Oshun, well, I guess she's God.
Mm.
And she's outside me. So I got to ask Oshun to give me something.
Mm.
Oh, I was doing this for Oshun to give me. Oh, Oshun allowed me to braid her hair in a dream. How many times you heard that shit?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that bitch hair that nappy? Yeah, I was saying shit like I had twosomes with Yim and Ya and Oshun. All that shit is real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm sitting there like they're not people. And your mom's had sex. If you what the trick was, and what Bobby did was the first trick was trying to show you that you're peer to peer with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I talk to the gods and I curse them out and I argue with them. He's trying to psychologically show you that you're peer to peer with them. Mm-hmm. But he's telling you as their personalities outside because that's all niggas knew. So I was fortunate coming after Bobby to be able to speak more on their inside of your ass, their energy signal.
Souls. So that includes you. This is every god and goddess born after 1950 on up to now is an indigo child. Your indigo child are your souls that was here when the original war first started on this planet, when the planet was invaded. Because after the original 23 Sciences was created and we went to erect the multiverse and set out and create the universes and things like that, then we began to create more gods and goddesses. Then we began to breathe life force into these different realities so that they can continue to create and be fruitful and multiply, because this is what the black goddess told us to do as gods. Mm-hmm. We was all at peace at this point. When we came to this planet, this was the last planet we created. This was the very last planet. Planet so-called Earth is located. We're in the night. A lot of us don't even know where we at right now because they didn't lie on all the maps. Right now, you're located in the 9th universe. Mm-hmm. We're in the 9th universe.
The number 9 keeps popping up.
Exactly. We always see 9 because 9, even in numerals, math and basic math that they teach you in school, because that's not real math. But the number doesn't go any higher than 9. After 9, you get to 10. 10 is 1 and 0 all over again. But you should ask yourself, why is 9 the highest number? Why is 9 representing completion? What did Tesla say? He who understands the power of the 3, the 6, and the 9 understands the secrets of the universe, right? And Tesla got that from us. That was true. That's why they did what they did to Tesla, his own people, when they seen what he was trying to get, what he was touching into. So you're going to realize that, yes, it goes no higher than 9, and you're going to see 9 in everything we do. Because we are 9 ether beings. You're going to see that even down to the follicles, even down to your ether. Even your DEA series. We have 9 DEA series.
Yeah, we do.
Right? They have 6. It takes us 9 ethers to get here. There's no such thing as time and space. I always tell people, time was a spell created by Zeus, by the oppressors. Who was that? Oh, there's only one oppressor here on this planet. It's not nobody else, black or Latino, and then it's not even the regular white people that go to work. They just, a lot of them is clones and pawns, Mach 5 synthetic robots, or just being put there, being used for us to crash out on. The individuals that's running the planet is the original 13 families. Those are the human beings, and they are in cahoots with the Alpha Draconian reptilians and the Pleiades. These two come together to form your shadow government, your cabal, your Illuminati. This who running the world, your royal family. You know what I'm saying? This is who running this part of what we consider to be the world. This is who gave us the maps telling us that, hey, this is only the world. It's 7 continents. When this is not our world. This world is composed of 9 other realms. We are on Atlantis right now, but they got motherfuckers thinking we on Earth. We on Atlantis right now. Niggas out, man, we on Earth, y'all. You see what I'm saying? People, we on Earth, we human, y'all. We not human. See what I'm saying? We are gods and goddesses. That's not just a saying. That's a genetic thing. We are carbonated beings, and carbon is the basis from which all life in this physical world forms from. We are connected to the plants. We give life to the sun. We created the crystals. We used to have huge crystal towers that graced our entire realm. We had giant trees. Now they call them mountains. We never had mountains. Those are trees that they cut down, and now they're teaching you that they mountains. You know what I'm saying? Those are, when you looking at these, they're not even our trees. Those are 30mm bushes. But they taught you them was trees. Just like them are not stars in the sky. You're looking at universes and planets. But they told you they were stars because they knew they couldn't hide it from you. So they renamed things. This is why the English language is a spell that they cast over us on every level. All the words. You calling yourself an American, but that's a white person. You can't say you're African American because now that's two white people. Scipio Africanus was a European. Whatever fucking name, European, whatever you want to call him, he's a Caucasian. That means he's a humanoid. He's human. And that's okay. But he's a 6-ether being. It takes him 6 ethers to get here. And he doesn't have a soul. You are a 9-ether being. You are carbonated. You give life to life. You are the basis from which all life in this physical density forms, as well as in the cosmic realms. It's a difference, right? The sun feeds off your frequency. The sun kills them because they don't belong here. They're not supposed to be here. They are visitors here.
I heard you say before, we don't need the sun needs us. That's a bold statement there, brother.
That's a fact.
Because we was taught to worship the sun. Like the sun gives us light. The sun gives everything down here life. But you like, we don't need the sun. You said it with such an enthusiasm and such vigor. I'm like, damn, this brother's serious about that statement. Explain that. How does sun need us? We don't need the sun, my brother.
Okay, so let's remember what came first. Do you think the original aboriginal goddess / god came first, or do you think the sun and the moon came first? Before there was a sun and there was a moon, there was us. Who do people think it was that put the sun in the sky? Who you think taught the sun how to shine? Who you think set the temperature of the sun, of how hard it should beam, of how hot it should shine? Who you think gave the sun its orbitatory path to orbit around like in clockwork fashion around the realm? We did that. We do that. The sun is nothing but a big chromosome.
A big chromosome.
One big chromosome in the sky. Right? Shout out to Dr. Phil Valentine too, one of the most powerful intellects. Him, Dr. Delbert Blair, Bobby Hemmett. I mean, all the intellects, right? I like to always give respect to my physical elders because we are all on the same team. But I'm saying that for a reason. When Dr. Phil Valentine spoke about the sun and the chromosphere of the sun, he spoke about this 20, 30 years ago, right? Before it was the internet, right? And he spoke about how the brightness of the sun that is emitted that makes you be. Then I can't see. Put the visor down. You looking all like a little ugly people. You know what I'm saying? Got the sun in your eyes, right? That's the chromosphere of the sun that is making you. I can't see. Put the visor. Okay, now that's the chromosphere. You have chromosomes in you. Now, when Dr. Phil Valentine brought that information down to the planet, that's an esoteric fact. Now, I'm just here to further stamp that fact when we talking about this sun right now. You have to understand, you have cells. Each cell has a membrane, a nucleus, right? The nucleus is the power. What does that power come from that's in the cell? That's plasma energy. But how is it getting into your cells? It's coming from the sun. What on your avatar is allowing this channel of frequency to flow through you? It's your ether, which is why the more ether you grow, the more energy you channel from the sun into certain cells. These chromosomes that's inside of us that we control is the same chromosome we're looking at when we look at the sun in the sky. So the reason they can't let you remember that is because then you would understand it. Hold on. So if that chromosome hold on. So you're telling me the sun is a chromosome that's actually inside of me? And we say, yes, that's a chromosome that's inside of you that you created. Beautiful reflection. That's your reflection. All right. That's the sun. Right. You are the living God. And that's the Son of God. Right. What they spoke about in the Bible. Right. You are the living God when you manifest into this physical realm. And that sun is the son of you, right? And it's going to, just like a child looks up to his parent. A son looks up to his father and his mother. A son loves his mother. It's not nothing a son won't do for his mother. And it's not nothing a son won't do to make his father proud. Now, if you can understand that that son came from you and you created that son, what do you think you can get the sun to do for you? Now, the sun is full of what? Photon energy, plasma energy. You are full of what? Photon energy, plasma energy. When you're in that sun is actually burning off all toxins that has been put in you through the food that they have given you. Through the programming they have pushed into your pineal with selenium that they have fired at you through these flat screen TVs and these cell phone monitors. Each one has a chemical behind it called selenium. That's why your phone has the little, it don't just have one camera lens. You got the camera lens for you. You got the one for the oppressors who's watching us at all times, and you got the one for that selenium. Same thing with your flat screen TVs is in your home. Okay? These are all weapons that are being aimed at you to keep your vibration low, because you are the life giver to the sun. When they told us to praise the sun, you had a sun god named Ra. But if they was to ever show you how Ra looked, how you think Ra looked when he was in the physical? Not to mention Ra is still a powerful god. All the gods from Greek mythology still exist. When they left that physical form, they just went back to the cosmos. But you can channel any of them, anybody that's a nine-ether being. This is what makes us dangerous. This is where this come in at. See what I'm saying? This is where this come in at. Mm-hmm. You could channel any of these ancient gods because they're your physical and cosmic ancestors. You can get the sun to come out whenever you want it to come out. You can use the sun to do so many different things because you are the life giver of the sun. Before, when we was in the beginning, we didn't have a sun or a moon. Who you think created that? Why do you think we created it? When we only created the sun, they used the sun and we created multiple suns. And this planet, to be exact, had two suns.
Two suns, right.
Two suns.
What happened to the other one?
So what happened was, so of course, after the Anunnaki species was created, we then created series A, B, and C, and we created the beings on those galaxies. Then we began to create all these planets and universes. So when we finally got to this planet was called Planet Tiamat originally, and Planet Kai. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We was using this planet as a dojo or a spiritual school for ascension. So it was to be a school for spiritual advancement and ascension, which is why to this day, this planet, which is now renamed Earth, this is still a school that many souls and spirits elect to come to. Because you can reach some of the most highest forms and fastest form of spiritual ascension on this planet because of the way they socially engineered the planet. It makes a soul and a spirit go through many lessons here. You'll go through many lessons here, right? So, but anciently, this is what this planet was designed to do. And we had built beautiful pyramids. We had beautiful, huge trees. We had these giant mushrooms. The entire planet was a forest. So think of like Avatar. It was no buildings. It was none of that. No railroads, no interstates, just beautiful forests. And we stood 50, 60, 50, 70, 80, 100 foot tall. That's why they still dig up our bones to this day, God. Like, you'll see giants. Yeah, they stay digging us up. Yeah. And see, we was beautiful colors of blues and reds and greens because we breathe hydrogen. Even if you look at the links of your DEA or DNA, as they try to rename it, but humans and animals have DNA. Gods and goddesses have DEA. All right, but even if you look at it, you can see like how the planet was in a magical state. Like all the rocks, all of these little rocks, like how you just walk outside, you see little rocks on the ground. Those used to be a part of giant mushrooms. All your crystals come from giant, how I wear a lot of crystals, right? I wear a lot of crystals, right? These come from giant crystal towers that we had that we used to use to communicate with. We had these chips in our head right above our that went around our pineal gland, kind of like Vision off the Avengers. That's where they get the idea for Vision from. And we had these chips around our pineal glands, and these chips connected us to these pyramids. We never didn't use alphabets. We didn't use words to speak. We spoke using frequency and vibration.
Okay. Okay.
So, when we was in this state, you have to understand, like, the frequency was higher, so everything was faster. We was vibrating at a much higher rate, and it was at that point that these beings that we now call human beings invaded our planet. When they invaded our planet, they already knew what they was looking for. This is what a movie Star Wars and Star Trek.
You talking about the Alpha Draconians right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Alpha Draconians, the Pleiadians, and the human beings.
Okay.
So the human beings, remember the original 13 families. Who are the original 13 families? These are the Israelites. This is why when the gods and goddesses go on their spiritual journey, black people, right? When they get to the Hebrew, the first thing we stop at is Hebrew Israelite. I'm not religious no more, but I went deep. I found out I'm a Hebrew Israelite. But in the actuality, we are not Hebrew Israelites neither. You know, the Israelites are human beings. Israelites come from the term Israel. What was Israel's name before it was Israel? His name was Jacob, right? In the Bible, he was Jacob, and then he wrestled with an angel and he became Israel. All right, so that basically means the angel kicked his ass, right? Because if his name changed to Israel, I mean, he couldn't have won the fight. If you get into a tussle and you change your whole motherfucking name, I'm gonna feel like you must have got your ass.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, we gotta look past the line.
Facts.
Okay, so he was Jacob, and Jacob changed his name to Israel after wrestling with an angel. All right, so now to show you who the Israelites are, these are Satan's people. What's Jacob's real name back then? It was no J's, right? This is why they don't say Jesus. They say remove the J. It was Yah. They say Yahweh, right? Same thing with Jacob. You remove the J, you get a Y. You get Yaqub, right? We know who Yaqub was. It's the same Yaqub they spoke about in religious, who separated the brown from the black germ and created the race of human beings to destroy his people, right? Because Yaqub is Satan. Satan is Zeus. Zeus is Jesus. Jesus is all the same person. You get what I'm saying? So the Hebrew Israelites are the 12 tribes of human beings that was in that cave when they first got here that actually helped the Draconian reptilians and the Pleiadians invade our planet and hijack this realm from all you current day black and Latino people.
Oh shit! Wow.
So this is why this is what people got to understand. This is who the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes, right? The 12 tribes is the original 13 families. Okay, these 13 families still run the world to this day. This is the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergers, right? The Trilateral Commission, you get the name of all these people, the Rothschilds, right? Because these are the beings they passed that down from the caves, right? And then the rest of the human beings that wasn't with the bullshit, when they came out the caves, they became the peasants of Europe. They became the peasants. And all the human beings that was in the original 12 tribes that was with the war of helping go against the aboriginal beings of this planet, when they came out, they became the black nobility and the royals and the Pope. And, people got to understand who these beings are aligned with. They're aligned with Satan. Those are Satan's people. So we can't be calling ourselves the Hebrew Israelites.
So the black nobility was down with Zeus or Satan.
Exactly. Black nobility, Bavarian Illuminati, because you got to remember, Illuminati is us. The real Illuminati is us, because Illuminati means enlightenment. So when you're thinking about the Illuminati in the sense of how we think of the Illuminati today, like these evil group of people running the world, that's the Bavarian Illuminati. Just like the original Masons is us. If you look at your hand, you still got an M right there in your hand. Master Mason. It's etched in your genetics. You are the original builder of the cosmos. Got an M in your hand. Might be in both hands if you look in your palms. But of course, once they hijacked our planet, they stole everything from us. They became the Freemasons, right? And they stopped knowledge at 33 degrees, right? Because 3 + 3, 3 × 3 is 9, and 9 ether being is the highest, and their information is limited. We only taught them so much. Like I say, when they came to this planet, through portals in the Caucasus Mountains. So when they entered our realm, this is when they was walking on all fours. This is when they was in Neanderthal form. This is how they was when we seen them. Now the Pleiadians, they look like your modern day human beings anyway. So they was not like that. You know, they was in their suits.
So they didn't walk on all fours, the Pleiadians.
The Pleiadians walk upright because the Pleiadians were already an advanced extraterrestrial race. You gotta remember that. So the human beings were the ones that were primitive because they were created in a petri dish by Zeus on Nern.
Yeah,
Nern is a planet with 2 moons, no sun, so it's always cold. This is why human beings like cold weather. This is where Sub-Zero technology was created by another group of beings called the Dark Elves. Zeus created many beings. Satan, as you may know him in religion, created many different beings after we kicked him off this planet. Because you have to remember, when the original 23 scientists, when everything was erected and we began to build this planet up, the ancestors sent some of the most finest spiritual assassins, over 144,000 of them, to this planet, and they sent Zeus, Satan, with them because he was the head scientist. Now, a lot of people fail to realize this is what they was talking about in the Bible when they said, hey, Satan was God's most prettiest angel. Okay? But they don't tell you the real story of what happened in the war in heaven. The real story is it wasn't no magical heaven. That happened right here on this planet. Zeus, aka Satan, was sent down to this planet with 144,000 of us to this planet. And as you had 144,000 of us souls and spirits that came here and started building the planet up. So some of us started creating the animals. Some of us started creating different plants and leaves and nutrients and microorganisms. You know, we was building the planet up. We created different things. And the war broke out because Zeus, I like to call him by his cosmic name. I don't like to call him Satan because he's a bitch. Now, that's how I talk about him. Like, he's a coward, and he hides behind those names and its power in certain names. Well, if you call him Zeus, you stripping him of all them hidden identities. Like, we know who you are. You're our brother that turned your back on us. Because people forget. They try to cast Satan away from them. You fail to realize Satan is originally one of us. If he manifests and shows himself in the physical, he's going to like a black person, not a white person.
Damn.
Right? Because he's our brother that stepped outside of himself. See, anciently, we never prayed to nothing outside of ourselves. We only prayed to ourselves, and we praised each other. So when we seen another God or goddess, we say, hey, I love your creation, or hey, you peace, reflection. We praise you, gave you a good vibration, right? Now think about that. That might sound small, but think about how you feel if somebody give you a compliment. It can, one compliment that can make your whole week, right? Imagine people just complimenting you everywhere you went. You would be so high just off those compliments. That's the power of praise. That's what true prayer meant. But of course, they manipulated everything and contorted us to just be praying on our knees and closing our eyes and shutting down our metaphysical self and praying to this white God that doesn't exist. So you got to understand, like, that Zeus, Satan, when he came to this planet, because he was the head scientist, he was cocky. He was basically cocky. Like, man, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I'm not on headquarters, so y'all can't tell me shit. I'm the highest ranking one on this new planet. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. So what did Zeus / Satan start doing? He started going to different gods and goddesses and killing their creations. Okay, so say you created the wolf. He went and killed the wolf, and now he's operating on the wolf, trying to work on his creation. And he did that with a couple of different gods and goddesses creations till it got to the point where like all the gods and goddesses came together and motherfuckers ain't want him on the planet no more. It was like motherfuckers came together like, look, bro, you gotta go before we beat your ass. You ain't finna keep, I gotta break it down in layman's terms. Like, we gotta think as above, so below. Like, we gotta get out of this mystical mindset. No, as above, so below. You had duality then, you had it now. Ain't nothing new really under this motherfucking sun. It was literally like that. Imagine a science fair. You got a project you got to work on to create something. I got to create. So here we all got to create something because we trying to pass this class. Okay, 144,000 of us come down here. We all got a job to do. We like, all right, we got to build this motherfucker up because the ancestors say this is what they want. Right? But one of our brothers, he want to, after you done worked hard on your creation, now he want to slide up, kill your cow, slide up, kill her giraffe, slide up. Cut her shrooms down. We hold on, who doing this? Once we finally came together and realized what was going on, just like it would have now. Motherfuckers came together and huddled about it. Like, hold on, bro. Your shit came up missing too? Your shit came up. I thought it was just me. So nobody wanted to come to Zeus because he's Zeus. Remember, one of God's most prettiest angels. So that status he still had of Zeus, the head scientist, like the goddesses created him first. He was the first masculine energy ever created.
Yeah.
This is why he's so powerful. This is why Zeus, Satan, know you like the back of his goddamn hand. He created the genetic designs for the avatars for this planet. So this is why he know everything about you. You be trying to figure out why it's so hard to get say not my life. He know everything. He's the original, the head of the original 23 scientists.
He's the architect of the avatars, you say?
Yeah, of our physical bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the original 23 scientists, you got to think it was still goddesses and gods. Their souls hadn't been even created yet. And they came after the original 23 scientists. So when you're dealing with Zeus, Satan, you're dealing with an ancient soul that played a major part in designing this shit for the goddesses. You know what I'm saying? You playing with the architect of life as you know it, and you wondering why the fuck he's so good at getting to you. He's the architect. You know what I'm saying? He's the head scientist. You know, we got 22 other ones, but he was the head. That's how smart he was. That's why in the Yakub story, they try to say they called him the big head scientist.
Big head scientist, right.
These are all just different names. This is why they tell you in the Bible. This is why you got to read all this shit. You can't just read the Bible. You can't just read the Quran. You just can't read the Kabbalah. You got to read all this shit to get the understand. Then go within yourself, right? It's nothing but him hiding behind all these different names. And this is why they told you in the Bible. His greatest trick was fooling the whole world that he didn't exist. Well, when I tell people, when I say Zeus, you got people like, Zeus? Still about for Greek mythology? They admittedly think I'm crazy. And just right there, he got you. Because you, if we going off the way they describe, you looking for a nigga with a red jumpsuit on, some horse hooves, and a trident in his hand with a hoodie on. Like I always say, you looking for the nigga on a flaming hot Cheeto bag. No, for real though, guys. Look.
You gonna pull it out? You gonna pull it out? You gonna pull it out?
They got niggas. They looking for him.
They looking for him. Oh man.
They looking for him. You feel me?
Oh man.
And you ain't gonna never see him looking for him.
Oh shit.
He gonna look just like me and you because he's a carbonated being. He's a neuromelanated being. So if he does manifest down into the physical, he has to have carbon. Right? Oh, so, like, this is the true heaven-hell story, right? Like, we on the planet, and it's all over. It's this beef starting to build. Because he cocky, like, man, nigga, I'm head scientist. Y'all can't tell me shit. And, you know, we like, nigga, what you mean we can't tell you shit? You ain't never finna do what you just want to do. So, it's all this arguing going on. What happens is, because we going back and forth, we had never done it amongst each other, so that we starting to emit negative or low frequency. Immediately back home on Xylanthia, they can peep that frequency, so they channel everybody back. They basically beam everybody back to Xylanthia to see what's going on down on Kai. What's going on? Why is this big disagreement? So you got all these gods and goddesses that we telling our side like, hey, we feel like he don't need to be down here because he doing this and that. And then, you know, he's Zeus. He's Satan. He the head scientist. He's God's most prettiest angel. So he got that cockiness. He, man, you know, when they created me first, I'm in good with him. I helped build all these shit. You ain't gonna, you know, he got that cockiness. He trying to go around and he said, because the law of the cosmos is that a soul can create. This is the law. The free will and that you are to create. Right? So that was his argument. So it basically turned into like a court situation. And I've always told the same story. And I'll be like, you got people that don't want to believe it, but when we talk about that war that happened in heaven and hell in the Bible, they didn't tell you shit. They just said a war broke out in heaven and he took a third, and that's that. They don't give you no details about shit. You don't know what the fuck really happened. You don't even know what the beef was about. Like, what was it really about? You know what I'm saying? So it really was about what I'm telling you it was about. Like, it was this back and forth because see, he was already trying to create the human being race. And he was trying to use animals. And if you know how the human beings was created, he eventually created them with the animals. So when we in our cosmic court situation with them going back and forth, basically the elders came to the agreement like, listen, okay, well, Satan, Zeus, you just leave Kai and that way you can go create your own planet and go do your own thing. And then all the gods and goddesses that we sent y'all down to Kai, y'all keep building Kai up. That way everybody happy. Or so we thought. So everybody like, okay, cool. we being back down here to Planet Kai. We good. You know, we back on our duty. This nigga got to pack up his shit and leave. He should be good too. So everybody cool. He don't want to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, he basically don't want to leave. It's like, okay, they told you to leave. You still trying to act like you got to pack and you got to double back and get t-shirts and shit. Get your bitch ass off the planet. Like, that's the energy we was on. So, you know, he ain't on that energy. And long story short, it turns into like another argument where you got to go. They told you had to go. He ain't trying to hear shit. We get to fighting. So when we get to fighting, I'm breaking it down in layman's terms so everybody can grab. Because I can use a bunch of big words and motherfuckers will be lost out there. Now, I want everybody to understand like it was a family feud. We get to beating his ass, stomping all type of teeth out of him, you feel me? And other gods and goddesses that was there jumped in the fight. It's literally because you remember, we all won anyway. So even though we felt the way about Zeus and what he was doing, like any community, God, if we all live in a community, I could be doing